We're back. So, some of you parents were asking, well, what are the important things? How do we teach this? How do we keep everybody engaged? Well, everything that I write up here, these are some of the really key components, things that we really need to focus on. So you can stop and start the videos as you need to. You can stop and then YouTube some stuff, or you can stop and have conversations. Yes, no questions are really good. They allow the kids to be able to answer and know that they're engaged. Sometimes they don't look like they're engaged, but they are. So go ahead and stop and start as many times as you need to. You can rewatch the videos over and over again, whatever it takes to get everybody engaged and to get through the content. And this is hard content, so you may need to stop and start. And I think it's just going to get harder as we read. So do whatever it takes for you guys to engage and learn and get through it. All right, here we go. War. Other countries watched Hitler gain power and saw the Nazis were doing what the Nazis were doing to the Jewish people. But they took no action, so Hitler went further. He ignored the World War I treaty. He put an army together. In March 1938, Nazi troops marched into neighboring Austria. Hitler rode behind them. He was met by cheering crowds. Most Austrians were eager to be part of what Hitler called the Third Reich, Germany's new empire, that soon would rule the world and last 1,000 years. The Austrians didn't mind harsh anti-Jewish laws going into effect. Almost immediately, Jews were attacked on the streets. That September, Hitler demanded that the Sudetenland in Czech region become part of the Reich too. Many Germans lived there, so it was only right, Hitler said. If he didn't get the land, he threatened war. To avoid conflict, Great Britain agreed, and other countries followed. Germany was growing stronger and bigger, and as time passed, restrictions against the Jews grew stronger too. On November 9th, 1938, anti-Jewish violence swept across Germany and Austria. During Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, more than 7,000 Jewish businesses were destroyed, along with 267 synagogues. Shattered glass from windows lined the streets. 91 Jews were killed. Yes, sir. So something that we need to know the night of broken glass, if you look, these are businesses. And these are windows. And this is flames, fire, fire, fire coming out of the building. Broken glass from people throwing things. And the reason we know it's a Jewish business is because the Jewish star is on the building. Remember, all buildings had to have the Jewish star. So more than 7,000 Jewish businesses were destroyed. Does that mean that they could keep working, or were the businesses gone? Gone. They were destroyed, all gone. They were torn up. They were set on fire. 267 synagogues. What is a synagogue? What is a synagogue? Does anybody know?
No.
It's kind of like a church for Jewish people. That's where they go to read and learn about their religion. So we could say that 267 Jewish churches, which is a synagogue, were destroyed. So they had no place to worship anymore. They had no place to learn anymore. They were destroyed. They were gone. 91 Jews were killed. Why were they killed?
Because of the fire.
Yeah, and because they were Jewish. This is not good, you guys. Afterward, the Jewish community received a bill for damages. Damages done by the Nazis. Wait a second. Afterwards, the Jewish community received a bill. That doesn't make sense. Their businesses were the ones that were damaged. Hundreds of thousands of Jewish men were arrested. They were sent to concentration camps. Remember, here's our concentration camps. Remember, it's a prison with lots and lots and lots of people. the first to be imprisoned just for being Jews. Now the Nazis were sure that no Jews would want to remain in the Reich. And indeed, by the end of the 1930s, more than half of the Jewish population fled to other European countries, to the United States and to Palestine, but many couldn't leave. Some simply didn't have the money. Also, other countries had set limits on how many Jewish immigrants could enter. That was because in America and in Europe, millions of people were out of work. So countries didn't want immigrants arriving and competing for the few jobs that were left. U.S. immigration. In the United States, there was also strong anti-Semitism. What does that mean? Anti-Semitism. Does anybody remember? Hatred of Jews. And although President Franklin D. Roosevelt had many Jewish advisors in his government, the mood of the country was against taking in Jewish immigrants. When the St. Louis, a ship carrying 900 German Jewish passengers, wanted to dock on the Florida coast, it was sent back to Europe. Eventually, more than 250 of its passengers were killed in the Holocaust. That's sad. That was not a super nice America. After Hitler seized the Czech capital city of Prague in March 1939, European leaders finally took a stand. They said Germany had to stop its conquest. Hitler didn't listen. On September 1st, he invaded Poland. 2 days later, Great Britain and France declared war against the Third Reich. This was the start of World War II. Once Germany took a... What? Once Germany took over Poland, anti-Jewish laws went into effect there. In addition, thousands of Poles were forced to leave their homes to make way for German settlers. Many Poles were sent to camps where they did hard labor or were killed. The only reason was because the Germans wanted a place to live. That doesn't seem very nice. This is not getting better, it's getting worse. In the spring, Hitler invaded Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. In April 1941, he took over Yugoslavia and Greece. Then in June, Nazi troops marched into the Soviet Union. Hitler was truly creating an empire. We are heroes, Hitler told the German people. We are the master race. Is that true? No. The two sides of World War II. Two groups of countries fought each other in the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. The Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, was one group. Its goal was German rule in Europe, Italian rule around the Mediterranean Sea, and Japanese rule in the far eastern part of the world. The other group, the Allies, was led by Great Britain and the Soviet Union. The United States hoped to stay out of the war, but it joined the Allies after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, a U.S. Navy base in Hawaii, in December of 1941. The Allies' goal was to defeat the Axis power, but it took 4 more years for that to happen. So why did America go to war? They bombed Pearl Harbor. All right. So, we know that they attacked Jewish businesses, destroyed them and synagogues. Jewish people were killed and they were arrested just for being Jewish. And then he started to take over. Hitler started to take over. In the 1930s, more than half the Jewish population fled to Europe, and they tried to go all over, even the United States, but nobody was really taking immigrants because we were not in a good economical time. Hitler was creating an empire taking over. Was this good or bad? Bad. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.